Hello, a day with Caleb. We are starting a brand new series. Uh, in the past, years ago, I would either on shows or like news shows or like Jay Leno maybe did it. Somebody in the past, and maybe they have done it more recently too, connecting the dots. You would start with one person, whether it's an actor, sports athlete, director. You start with that one person and connect them through other people to a completely different person. And they would do this from memory, which is incredible to think about. You start with one person, you say, hey, that person acted in this movie with this person, they acted with this person, and on it goes until you eventually connect them to that second person. Well, I thought that was such a great idea that I wanted to do a series with that in mind. And what better way to start a series than with one of the best mystery shows, one of the best shows around. I watched season 1 of Only Murders in the Building, and I thought it would be fun. You could have done the easy route and done Steve Martin and Martin Short. That's very easy to do, but I thought, how could we connect Steve Martin all the way to Selena Gomez? Steve Martin has been in the business for decades and decades. Selena Gomez, kind of on the up portion of her career, hasn't done as much as Steve Martin, so I thought it would be fun, since that's one of my favorite shows right now, that we connect Steve Martin and Selena Gomez. They do have a lot in common, even though, they're different in a lot of ways, and there's a big age gap. They both have been involved with the Muppets. Selena Gomez, as you see here, was in the 2011 Muppets movie. Steve Martin was in the Muppet Show, as well as the original Muppet movie as the waiter. So that is very cool. They both have that Muppet connection, the rainbow connection. Huh? Anybody? And then SNL, they have that connection. Both of them have been hosts as well as guests, I believe. Steve Martin has done it numerous times from 1976 to 2022. Selena has done it, hosted a couple times. Most recently in season 47, that's this year, episode 20, and her opening monologue shouts or talks about Steve Martin, and Steve Martin was a guest this episode, and Selena and Steve Martin are in a skit together, so I thought that was very, very fitting for them to have those connections. So now that we know the connections, we will start with Steve Martin and go all the way through, connecting the dots along the way, and we end with Selena Gomez. Now, where would we start in this process? I thought about it. You could do Bowfinger. You could do all these great Steve Martin movies, but I thought it would be neat to keep the Martin Short connection and start with three amigos: Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Chevy Chase. That's our first connection. Chevy Chase, with Martin Short and Steve Martin, appeared in the movie Three Amigos. Now, where we go from here, Chevy Chase, along with John Candy, was in Nothing But Trouble, a very underrated, zany, dark comedy directed by Dan Aykroyd, another SNL alum. And John Candy, this isn't a connection, but he was also in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles with Steve Martin. One of my favorite comedies. Watch it every Thanksgiving, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Right up there with the Mount Rushmore comedy. Clue, the movie, Meet the Parents, Planes, Trains. They're right up there as my favorite comedies. John Candy was also in Home Alone, that great scene with the mom, Poca Poca. So who do I connect with Home Alone? Joe Pesci, who of course he's the main villain, along with Daniel Stern. Joe Pesci was in Home Alone, and then he was in the Lethal Weapon franchise, I believe the second through the fourth, along with Mel Gibson. So Lethal Weapon, and he had the white hair, if memory serves. And we'll stop here to kind of think about this. Takes a lot of work to do. I love doing it. This was so fun to do. But if you're new, subscribe to the channel. Share with a friend out there. These are great, but they do take a lot of work. A lot of energy goes into getting pictures, research, all that type of deal. Anyway, we're going to continue. Harrison Ford starred with Mel Gibson in Expendables 3. They were both in that film, and then Harrison Ford voices his talents along with Kevin Hart in the movie Secret Life of Pets. I had no idea Harrison Ford was in Secret Life of Pets too. I did watch that. I'm fairly certain. I just do not remember him in that. He's like the wolf guy. So then he was with Kevin Hart, who is, of course, the bunny in Secret Life of Pets 2. Kevin Hart would star with Will Ferrell in Get Hard, which is a pretty funny comedy where he tries to kind of teach this Will Ferrell the ins and outs of prison, even though Kevin Hart has never been to prison. It's a pretty unique take. Then Will Ferrell was teamed up with Mike Myers in Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, in a great, some would say cameo, I would say maybe a minor role. It's a little more than a cameo, but a great scene with him getting shot off the mountain with Mike Myers, of course, who is all those great characters in Austin Powers. Then Mike Myers and Eddie Murphy team up for Shrek. Of course, Shrek and Donkey, the central duo of the early 2000s, even mid to late 2000s, when there's 4 Shrek films now. So that's great. Shrek, one of my favorite movies of all time. And Eddie Murphy we mentioned this movie before, he was in Bowfinger with Steve Martin playing dual roles, and Eddie Murphy can do multiple roles, as we found out in the Nutty Professor films. Maybe not too good in the later Eddie Murphy films, but great comedy. Bowfinger, we talked about great comedies. So Eddie Murphy, Shrek, where does that lead us? Antonio Banderas with Shrek 2, Puss in Boots. Now, Antonio was also in Expendables, so we could have connected the dots there. Expendables 3, I'm sorry. And Antonio also voices, is in Doolittle, and in the movie Doolittle, the Robert De Niro, not the, is it Rex Harrison? The musical? That's a great film, by the way. But Selena Gomez voices a creature in Doolittle. Antonio is in Doolittle. We could have connected there, but I wanted to keep going. So, Antonio Banderas, Shrek 2, Florence Pugh, who is, of course, in Black Widow. She's in Hawkeye now. She is a character, she voices a character in Puss in Boots 2, which is not, when this video drops, the movie will probably be in theaters. So where do we go from here? Well, Florence Pugh, along with Robert De Niro, was in Father the Bride Part 3. Now you might be thinking, wait, Caleb, there was Part 1 and 2 with Steve Martin, and then is it HBO Max or Paramount Plus just did a movie, Father the Bride? We're not talking about that movie. This was a movie shot and by the original Nancy Meyers. The same cast, all the cast is back for Part 3, and it was they released it online with like a charity, to benefit charity, so I don't think it ever released theatrical. I could be wrong, and I don't think it's gotten a physical release, but Florence Pugh plays the daughter, and Robert De Niro plays the soon-to-be wife of the kid in the film. He's the new Father of the Bride. So that's kind of unique, and that it's Robert De Niro, one of my favorite actors. We'll have a bio. That's a series I started too, biographies. We'll have a bio on him in the near future, if not before this. But so Robert De Niro, and then we could have done the easy route. There's a couple of those in this video. We could have done from there. We could have done him and Zac Efron did Dirty Grandpa, and then Zac Efron and Selena Gomez were in Neighbors 2 together. We could have ended it there, but I didn't want to end on Dirty Grandpa and Neighbors 2. Those are not like cinematic masterpieces. So we continue, and Martin Short is also in Father the Bride Part 3. That's not a connection, that's just a cool little thing. He is, of course, Frank in the 1 and 2 and 3. So he's in that along, of course, with Steve Martin. Steve Martin is, of course, in all three of the Father the Bride movies. So we continue. Robert De Niro is in Meet the Parents with Ben Stiller. This might be I don't like to rank things, but if not my favorite comedy, it's it's on the Mount Rushmore, as we talked about. Meet the Parents. The first time I watched it, we kind of had to keep the volume low because we were with our cousins. It was like an all-night thing. So went back, watched it immediately, found love, and it's a movie we actually watch with our parents too. Love that movie. So him and Ben Stiller in Meet the Parents. Then Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson were in Zoolander. Of course, Owen Wilson is in Meet the Parents as well. So you could have skipped Ben Stiller, but how could you skip Ben Stiller and Meet the Parents? So then Owen Wilson and Bonnie Hunt was in Cars 3 together. And Bonnie Hunt, I did not realize she has done some great characters, voiced some great characters in Pixar films. She was in this one, of course, and I believe a Bug's Life. I think I have a picture. So then her and Allison Stoner were in Cheaper by the Dozen, along with Steve Martin. All three of these actresses were in Cheaper 1 and 2, so I could have done either one of those. They actually did a recreation. They recreated a couple scenes with the original cast a few years ago for an anniversary. So that's neat to think about. And Allison Stoner, the little girl, well, not the kid in one of the younger kids in Cheaper, she played Max in The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. And yes, that's our connection. Selena Gomez played Gwen on The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. So we end with a show about twins. I couldn't think of a more appropriate ending to connect Steve Martin and Selena Gomez, and them along with Martin Short are in the Hulu show Only Murders in the Building. I need to see season 2, but we don't have Hulu. So the first season I watched when I pet sit for this family, so I need to somehow watch season 2. I cannot wait. Season 1 was so great, a great mystery show. So that was Connect the Dots. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Like I said, it does take a lot of time, but it's so much fun to do. Just thinking about how one actor or actress or director could connect to another person. Your mind could go a million places, and we went to almost a million places with all those references and tie-ins. And I like how one person would connect, but they also could connect back to Steve Martin or Selena Gomez. So a lot of connections throughout that list, but that was a neat one to do. And more to come with Connecting the Dots series. Hope you're ready for that. Like, subscribe, share with a movie lover. Until next time, connect those dots and keep collecting.